Almost half the population of the United States is under wind chill advisories tonight. And in our area, the blast of frigid air is almost here. So you see it right here. We have team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling is here, along with meteorologist Jason Michael. Betsy, you kick us off.
Yeah, we are, of course, keeping a very close eye on this situation. And have there been changes? Yes, of course there are changes, but they're not significant. We still have a major winter storm that is moving through northern Ohio. We have rain now, temperatures in the 40s, but look what happens to temperatures and especially wind chills as we go through the next 12 hours. By afternoon tomorrow, we will be at even below zero potentially, with those wind chills 25 to 30 below possible around northeast Ohio. The front is now in the state of Ohio. Look at the temperatures in Fort Wayne. Just 3 hours ago, they were at 28 degrees. Now they're down at 14. Indianapolis just went down to 1. Cincinnati went from 45 to 21. Did you see that? And look what's happening here in Cleveland. We've been holding right around 42. And it looks like the temperature drop will be coming in the next couple of hours. So as we take a look at Fort Wayne, Indiana, they did indeed have a flash freeze. There is black ice that's being reported in the INDOT area from INDOT in Indiana. But you can also see how there is snow that is on the road. There's a lot of stick. There's not a lot of snow. And we keep telling you, don't expect a lot of snow out of this. The snow is like not the big deal. It's the cold and the wind. Meanwhile, in Toledo, it's just wet, but they have just had the front go through. The temperature in Toledo right now is 33 degrees, and we, as I mentioned, are sitting in the 40s. Sandusky at 250 and State Route 2, the Edison Bridge, we just have wet roads. It's just rain right now. And as we take a look at the radar, you can see how the rain continues to move from south to north. Interestingly, we have seen the amount of rain starting to fill in a little bit, so we're going to see those intensities picking up. This is the rain, this is the water that will flash freeze as temperatures drop quickly below freezing after the midnight hour. We're still sitting here in the low 40s. Earlier this evening, the temperatures came up a couple of degrees, and it's all being carried in on these southeasterly winds. Winds have been picking up. We do have gusts already over 20 miles per hour occasionally, but look at where the front is. That wind switch is going to be the first signs of change. So you'll get a burst of rain, that wind switch comes through, and then the temperatures will drop. That's when we get into that flash freeze situation. That'll be taking place before 2 a.m. for Erie, Huron, Richland, and Ashland counties. The bulk of our population lives in the counties in pink. That includes Lorain and Cuyahoga counties, also Lake Geauga, Lake Geauga, Portage, Stark County, Tuscarawas County, Holmes County, Wayne County, Medina, and Summit counties. We're looking at that 2 to 4 a.m. time frame. 2 a.m. on the west side, 4 a.m. on the east side, and then after 4 a.m. for Ashtabula, Trumbull, Mahoning, and then down into Carroll counties. So we still have a lot that is going to be happening as we go through the night. So let me take you hour by hour here. We'll step you through it. We have the rain that's moving in, and it does look like we're going to be getting less than a quarter of an inch of rain, which is phenomenal, unless we really start to see this robust rain development, and that is possible. We have a lot of energy that's coming into the system right now. But we're going to hold here in the low 40s until the front arrives. And when it does, we will see a quick drop in the temperatures, just like what you saw in Fort Wayne. We'll have the rain changing over to snow. There may be a short period where there is a rain-snow mix. Then the snow becomes heavy, it fluffs up a little bit, and that's the snow that will stick. Then all of it freezes because of the flash freeze setting in, and you can see the temperatures dropping quickly back into the 20s. By 5 a.m., we're sitting here in the teens and low 20s. I think this is probably the most significant change because now at 7 a.m., we have temperatures that are in the low teens and upper single digits. We were going a little bit colder, but now it looks like that's going to be just a little bit lighter progression that we have to deal with. However, we will still be dealing with a lot of wind and wind chills sub-zero, and we will still be dealing with snow. We'll start to see the snow backing off just a little bit as we get into the late morning hours, but look at these temperatures, friends. We're talking about sub-zero and low single digits Friday late morning, and that's going to continue all day long. The temperature plunge is our top concern as we head through this night tonight and into the next 48 hours. High winds become our secondary concern, and they're kind of growing in tandem because it's the high wind threat for the power outages, and then you combine the power outages with the temperature plunge, and that becomes a really significant issue for us. So the wind gusts will be coming up as we head through the overnight hours. By 10 a.m. and noon, we are looking at near 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts throughout northeast Ohio. Here's the forecast as we head through the night tonight. There's the front. This is 2 a.m. That front goes through, and look, by 6 a.m., we now have a lot of sustained wind. We're talking 30-mile-per-hour sustained wind, gusts to 40, then gusts to 50 plus as we pass the noon hour. Note that it is the highest wind gusts west. That then begins to spread out. Look at these wind gusts up closer to the lakeshore. We're talking 50 to possibly 60 plus mile-per-hour wind gusts on and on and on for the afternoon into the evening hours. It just will feel like it will never end. And of course, it's going to be blowing and drifting all the snow. All the alerts are still out. We're still dealing with the cold first, the wind second, the snow is a distant third on this. So take the time now. This is the last call on the yard decorations, y'all. Also, if you have any liquids or drinks in your car or in your garage that's uninsulated, get them in, get them protected, get them warm. Santa's helpers, if you have electronics in uninsulated areas or any gifts with liquids in it, you may want to get those secured too, and of course charge your batteries too. The next 12 hours, this is where the cold comes in, the wind picks up, and that's where Jason picks up our story for the rest of the day.
Absolutely, Betsy, and this is going to be a memorable storm as we've talked about here across northeast Ohio. This is where you left off. This is where we're going to pick up the cold, the wind, the snow. When you think about this storm system and what's going to be happening here, you kind of wonder, like, what is going to be sort of the major threat here? Well, we have a lot of things that are going to be working in tandem at the same time as this storm system is moving through. We have temperatures in the 30s, 40s right now over in Toledo, as Betsy was just saying. They're now beginning to get that changeover. We only got a couple hours between us and also Toledo. With this storm system moving at about 50 miles per hour, you can guess that you're going to be riding right along through it. That is highway speeds, my friends. And we're also going to have those gusts going up to about 50 to 55, perhaps even 60 miles per hour as well. Through the afternoon on Friday, we're still holding steady with very cold temperatures at or around 0 degrees. Surface temperatures working in tandem with some of the wind chills, minus 30 degrees in some areas, what it feels like here. You can only imagine being outside, let's say 0 degrees, -5, 50-mile-per-hour winds. You only have about 5 to 10 minutes before these really start to go into our emergency zone as far as frostbite is concerned. Throughout the overnight hours, heading into early Saturday, we still have lake snows still looming throughout from the Snowbelt region, Cuyahoga County, stretching over to Lake Geauga, even getting down a little bit farther south over to Geauga County through early Saturday morning. And it doesn't stop there. As the low is pulling up north, we still have strengthening in some of the southern Canadian provinces. As it pulls away, we still got these winds just cranking on in here through afternoon on Saturday through the evening hours. 5 p.m. still with gusts approaching 30 to 35 miles per hour across the area. Saturday night through Sunday, okay, we're still got very cold temperatures. Then we start to turn the tide a little bit. That's when those winds begin to change and we start to warm things up just a little bit. And I believe by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, there perhaps could be some sun peaks moving on in. Snowfall accumulation rates, still the highest amounts north and also east of the city. This zone here, 3 to 6 and 2 to 5, this is the 2 zones that will likely still get those very coldest temperatures with lesser amounts of snows down south. Once the snow is done falling, we still got blowing snow to move around here. This will be a Christmas holiday to remember, and perhaps if you're around in 1983, you remember Christmas Eve and also Christmas Day. Highest temperatures on Christmas Eve in 1983, 4 degrees. Christmas Day at about 1 degrees. Okay, so we still got a lot of cold to deal with over the next several days here, and we are planning accordingly. Good news is there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, Jason and Betsy, we will see you again in just a few minutes. Thank you both.